Okay, so let's take a look at the needle here. This is where we're getting ready to stitch. Now it says, I want you to put the hoop on. Again, always wait for your machine to tell you when to put it on. Now that I've put it on, my machine is now actually ready to stitch if I wanted. So let's talk a bit about what's on our screen. Number one, down in the bottom left-hand corner here, it's going to take me 34 minutes total. This color is going to take me 15 minutes. If I arrow down, this color is going to take me 9 minutes. Now I can always pop back up to the previous color. Again, the last color will take me 9 minutes, and that remaining time is 9 minutes. So I can go back up. But when you add the 3 bottom ones, it'll equal to 34 minutes. Okay. So let's take a look on our right-hand side. This is called the bounding box or basting box. The basting box will stitch around our design, and it'll prevent, say you're doing applique, it'll prevent your applique from shifting. So instead of taping your applique fabric or taping your Stitch H2O or Badge Master to the top of your embroidery, you can always do the basting box. Highly recommend this. This is telling me my position of my design. So if I move, I can move it. I'm moving it on the y-axis, and my hoop and the design is just moving a little bit. Now if I want it to go back to default, I just tap back on the Y. Same with the X. So your X is left to right, and your Y is top to bottom. Now there are other ways of moving my design. This is how you can get accurate placement of your design on your hoop. So go back here. This one. This shows you where you are in your stitches. And this one is particularly important, especially if your thread breaks and you need to go back to start stitching. My rule of thumb is I always go back 10 stitches, and then it overstitches the last 10, and then it continues. So again, the top one is my total stitches, and it always starts at 4 and goes back, and then comes forward. So here I have 2,885 stitches. This color will be 1,192. I can always enter the stitch number. So let's say I want to go 139. There. My hoop just moved, and here is my source. Here's where my cross hatches, and now I can see it in detail. So I could actually type in the number, the stitch number I want. Remember, I started with 4, so when I typed in 139, it was 4 minus 135. I can also drag this if I want, but I have found that typing in the number is actually much better. Okay, let's continue on. So this option here is going to let me stitch all of the same color at one time. Let's say you had something at 10 different thread changes, but 3 of them were the same. This is going to allow me to stitch, in this case, all this isocord 1134. That can be quite nice. But you have to be careful that you're stitching things that need to be stitched first. So if you're saying doing a red and you're going to stitch all the red, and then a white comes along, and the white goes on top of the red, then you get that shading or that shadowing through. You just have to be kind of smart about which you can stitch first. I learned that the hard way on many embroideries when I was first starting. Now this one is your endless stitching. So it is now telling me that I need to move my hoop, which is what it did. So the endless, this is really good for quilting in the hoop. So it's going to repeat it. Obviously with my oval hoop on here, I don't have enough room to repeat everything. Okay, so we've gone over all of this. Oh, we missed this one right here. This is where it's going to, I love this option here. What will happen is it'll start stitching and it stops for you to cut so that you don't have long tails on your fabric. And that's the one thing about a Bernina I absolutely love. That way I don't have long tails that my foot catches under. That's what you want.